This is Real Retirees Uncut. No filters, no scripts, just conversations about what retirement is really like. Let's meet today's real retiree. Give me your name, age, and where you're from.
So my name is Carolyn. I'm 55 years old, and I'm from Florence, South Carolina.
Okay. Now, when did you retire and from what career field did you retire?
So I retired October of 2020, and I retired from the United States Army.
All right. Now, Carolyn, tell me what drove your decision to retire. Was there any particular point or event that caused you to say that enough is enough and it's time for me to go?
I would probably say after doing 30 years, I felt like enough was enough. I've done all I could, so it was time for me to go ahead and transition and do something different.
Right. Now, what is one thing that you're glad that you no longer have to deal with again when it comes to the workplace?
Um, I would probably say I really don't like cold weather, so I'm super glad that I don't have to get up early in the morning. I have my flexibility, and I don't have to get up unless I want to, but more particularly, I don't have to get up when it's extremely cold outside.
Right. Now, I think I've heard you say you served 30 years in the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, over a 30-year career, what was your approach to savings, knowing that at some point you were going to retire? So how did you approach your savings strategy and just kind of talk us through how you did that?
So in regards to my saving strategy, I watched a lot of people. My sister, she was about 18 months older than me. She was already in the Army. She was married, and she started talking about ways to save money. So I kind of took that in stride, as well as purchasing homes.
Okay.
So that was one of the first things I did. I purchased my first home at 22 years old.
Okay.
And I used that as a leverage to try to set myself up for success. I always saved my money. I was never in a position where I was not in a position to where I didn't have funds, because I made sure I always had a plan
Right.
to save my money.
Now, other than real estate, did you participate in the TSP program?
No, I did not participate in the TSP program. One of the reasons was because I didn't know if I would be around that long.
Okay.
So I just kind of did my own savings.
Okay, so your main vehicle was just real estate.
Real estate, and of course, I knew I was going to get a good pension.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
staying in the Army for 30
Okay.
years.
Now that you're in retirement, what do you use as your primary sources of retirement income to sustain yourself month to month, year to year?
So my primary source of income, of course, is my pension, my retirement pension, and of course, my real estate. I really don't go into my savings for anything, but that's my main source of income.
Okay. Since you primarily used real estate as your investment vehicle, I'm assuming that you didn't use a financial advisor or a tax plan or anything like that.
No,
right?
I did not.
Okay. Have you had a problem going from a saving mentality to a spending mentality? I know a lot of times people say after they have saved for so long and when they approach retirement, they have trouble now spending some of that money that they've saved. Have you had that problem?
No, not really, because if I really want something and I think it's feasible to do and it makes sense, then I'll spend the money on it.
Okay. Have you given any thought to Social Security? I know that you may have a few years before you approach Social Security age, but have you given any thought on when you're planning to take it?
I haven't given any real thought on it, simply due to the fact that I'm okay right now. So I think as it approaches, I'll actually look more into it, just figure out, okay, at what age should I take it,
Okay.
and do the math on that.
Right. Now, what do you currently use for health care and for your life insurance?
So I maintained my TRICARE
Okay.
when I retired. I also utilized the VA, and my life insurance, I maintained my SGLI.
Okay. Tell me, what is a typical day for you now in retirement? When you wake up in the morning, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, just kind of walk us through what a typical day is like for you now.
So a typical day, I typically get up probably about, I don't know, maybe about 7:30, take the dog out. And I've always been one to watch the news. So I constantly make sure that I'm in tune with what's going on, making sure what the weather is. So I may take about an hour or so to watch the news. And depends on the weather. I'll go outside and, I stretch and I go and do, some type of physical activities.
Right.
I volunteer
Okay.
a couple times a week. Right now I'm volunteering. I've been doing it with Habitat for Humanity for about 2 years now, coming up on 2 years.
Okay.
So I like to spend a lot of my time volunteering and just kind of helping others. My mom, she lives in Florence, South Carolina. She's my dad passed away in 2007. So along with my siblings, we kind of make sure that we're checking on her. And so I have the flexibility now to go home when I want to. I try to engage myself in her medical appointments if need be. So those are some things that I do, and I just try to relax.
Yeah.
And I still mentor as well.
Now, what do you enjoy most about retirement?
I enjoy the flexibility. That is what I really and thoroughly enjoy the most.
Yeah.
If I want to go somewhere, I don't have to ask for permission to go,
Right.
per se. I don't have to ask for time off. I just have to figure out when I want to go, put it on my calendar, and I just go and I come back at my leisure.
Whenever you're ready to come back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, have you had any major lifestyle changes? Have you downsized? Have you moved to a different state or anything major like that?
So I retired out of Fort Hood, Texas, and I purposely came back here to Fayetteville because it's close to home. I have not downsized yet. Actually, I may have plans of probably just moving, but I won't downsize.
Okay. Okay, so nothing else major.
No.
What about any new hobbies, new interests, or new skills that you might have developed in retirement?
I still try to maintain my human resources professional skills because I still do certification training and things of that nature because I never want to forget my foundation. I love volunteering, so I do that. I recently became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, so I spend a lot of my time now trying to learn about the organization and trying to give back as I said I would do prior to me becoming a member.
Okay. Now, since you've retired, what has been the best trip or the best activity that you've done in retirement?
I would probably say my niece graduated from college about 3 years ago, and the entire family was able to go to her graduation in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
So that for me was really great because it's really hard when you're in the military or when you're just working for you to be able to just take off and spend that time with the family. And we also celebrated my mom's 75th birthday at that particular time.
Congratulations. But no other major trips other than that one?
No, I really don't like a whole lot of traveling. I think because I traveled so much in the military, I'm more of a homebody. So I like spending time at home. I like spending time with family. Being away for 30 years, that made me just want to come back home and take this time now in my life to just spend it with my family and friends.
Okay. Tell us, how do you maintain your mental and your physical health? I know you talked a little bit about the physical piece, but how do you maintain your mental health more so?
A lot of people thought when I retired, when I retired out the military, if I did not go back to work, that I would not be able to sustain because I was always, busy in the military. So I just continue to just stay engaged with people. I stay engaged with different activities that I like to do prior to me retiring. And so I just try to make sure I don't lose my skill set. And if I can help somebody, that's what I do. So that's basically how I maintain my mental sanity.
Okay. And what has been the biggest challenge or the biggest surprise or the biggest expense that you've encountered since you retired?
I did some renovations and add-ons on my house. So that was probably like the biggest expense. It happened during COVID.
Right.
So I extended the room out, added a porch, some things that I kind of wanted to do. And then after I finished doing it, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna stay in this house forever.
Okay. So big expense. What about any big challenges or big surprises?
No real big surprises, but challenges, because as your loved ones, your parents, as they get older, now you're really having to help them out a whole lot more. So I think that would probably be one of my biggest challenges. And as well as me coming back home, because I'm not used to being back home. And people aren't used to me being back home sometimes. So I just think that was kind of a challenge to kind of fit back into the environment that I was
Yeah.
taken away from.
Right.
That was a huge challenge.
Okay. Now, looking back, do you wish that you would have retired sooner or later, or do you feel like you retired at about the right time?
So initially I was going to retire probably about 7 or 8 years prior to my retirement. But one of my mentors came to me and said, you have so much more to give. So as I reflect back on that, I'm happy that I stayed in the Army and I did what my mentor felt that I could do. And it actually made a difference for me,
Yeah.
as well as the people who I had the honor and privilege of serving with.
Okay. So you think 30 years was more than enough, right?
I think 30 years was way more than enough.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. Also, looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently to better prepare yourself for retirement?
As I reflect back, I'm pretty comfortable as to where I'm at in life. Maybe if I had invested maybe in some stocks, at an earlier age, I look at some of the stocks that are out there now and some of the companies and how they have grown from, 10, 20 years ago. Maybe if I would have probably looked into that, but I can't really foresee the future, but it's still not too late
Yeah.
for me to do it.
Okay. Have you done any estate planning? Have you created a will, a trust, power of attorney, anything like that yet?
So I have one, but I actually need to go in and update it. I only have one child, and so he's my beneficiary on every single thing that I have. But I do need to actually go in and prepare just to update it. I'm gonna actually write out my whole obituary someday.
Oh, really?
I just
Okay.
haven't done it yet.
That's kind of spooky.
It's kind of spooky, but I want to make sure that I go out the way that I want to go out.
Yeah, I understand that. And hopefully that someone will carry it out in
Yes.
that manner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you define retirement success? If you had to sum it up in a few words or sentences, what is your definition of a successful retirement?
My definition, I would believe, of a successful retirement would be one where you're not stressing out every single day about something, not just for yourself, but for your family members. If I could tell anybody, I would tell them, don't just prepare yourself, if you have kids, prepare your children. Because now that you may be retired, there may be some limitations on how you can help your children. So my thing would be just make sure that you're completely prepared in every aspect, and just make sure that your children are completely prepared, especially, they're gonna become adults, so they got to
Right.
take care of themselves.
Yeah. And then finally, what would be some advice that you would give to somebody that may be 5 or 10 years from retirement? Just some general advice, maybe something that we haven't already covered.
I would probably say start looking at your plan. What is your plan? Map your plan out so you know where you're going to be within the next 5 or 10 years, whether it's from a financial perspective, where you're going to live, education. Just start mapping it out. Don't wait until it's time to retire and you don't know what direction that you're going to go. So just have a good, solid plan, and then try to stick to that plan, and also have a backup plan to that plan. You always got to have a plan B.
Right. Plan A, plan B. Okay. All right. Well, I really do appreciate your time, all the great advice that you shared. Please like this video, share it with another person that you may know, and please subscribe to the channel.
Okay, thank you.
Another great one. Thank you.